It looks like Barcelona has just made their first signing this season, and it's definitely a player that if you asked me about a week or so ago, I wouldn't have even thought of this player joining the club.
And I didn't think this would be their first priority position that they were going to fill. Nonetheless, it's something that I think had to be done.
And I think a lot of us are going to agree with this, and I'm happy with the signing. I'm really excited to see what's in store for this player. So we're going to talk about this new transfer signing, and I also want to talk about what Deco just said. This is really interesting, so I'm really intrigued to see what these other things are.
So we're going to get into that too.
Before we jump in, quick thing, I just enabled my memberships for the GRETT show, and I created some really cool custom badges for new members and members in general. And I also created a couple really funny and customized emojis that I'm excited to share with you guys. And then there's also some cool features, shout outs, thank yous to members for joining the channel, and then also priority replies to comments. So if you guys want to join, trying to grow the biggest Barcelona community and football community geared towards Barcelona. If you guys want to be a part of it, there's a link in my profile and in the description. Feel free to check it out. I appreciate any support. Now let's jump in and discuss Barcelona's new signing and then what Deco just said that their plans are moving forward. So the first signing of the season is Joan Garcia, keeper from Espanyol. I just watched a TikTok of Fabrizio confirming this, that it is here we go soon. It looks like the final details are getting wrapped up, but it looks like this is 100% confirmed. And I also want to pull up this other article that I just read, and it says,
Just in, Joan Garcia should be the starting goalkeeper next season, with Szczesny serving as the number 2.
Ter Stegen might need to find a new club
to secure regular playing time ahead of the World Cup next summer. You know, a quick thing on Ter Stegen. No hard feelings. I hope there's no bad blood. I think he loved playing here, and I think he would retire here if he had the chance. I don't have anything against him. I wish him all the best. Even if he's still at the club, I hope he can get better.
I don't think at this age you can. He's had some very good moments for the club over the last, however long he was here, 10 years?
Almost 10 years, more than 10 years.
So even if he does leave, you know, a big thank you to Ter Stegen and hope he does well. But this is, you know, I'm not saying this is 100% happening, but this is, I've read this a couple different times. Now, you guys will have to help me out a little bit here. I hope you guys can.
I am not as familiar with Joan Garcia.
What's interesting is he's not coming from a big club. He's young. I think he's 24. So I think this actually, it's interesting because it's not like it's a big name keeper like a Courtois, an Ederson, an Allison, a Donnarumma that's playing for a huge club that you went out and signed, where you kind of know and have these expectations already. We're signing a younger keeper for a smaller club, smaller market club, and I think he knows this, that coming to Barcelona, one of the most iconic clubs of all time, he's going to have to prove himself. He'll probably be nervous and have some pressure, which I actually think is a good thing because he knows that he's going to have to work hard and prove himself. So I think this could be actually beneficial for him and the club.
Now, he's never played on the big stage,
you know, consistently in the Champions League and stuff. So I don't know how he's going to fare on this level. Nonetheless, he'll be alongside either Ter Stegen and or Szczesny. So I think he's going to be able to learn a ton, and this is going to be great. So now that that's out of the way,
let's talk about what Deco just said. So let me pull up this other piece of news.
So I was not anticipating this to be the first potential signing of the summer. I'm for it because I do think it's necessary. Deco, and this is quoted,
after completing renewals, we will make 2, 3, or 4 signings.
So we can count this as number 1.
What's number 2?
In renewals, I know Lamine just signed his contract. Rafinha did. Araujo, I'm pretty sure, did earlier this year. And they seem pretty confident in him. Obviously, Balde, Pedri, Cabarsi, Koundé, I don't think they're going anywhere. I think they'll probably try to work on something with Frankie de Jong. I thought Gavi had his renewal. But being that they said they weren't planning on signing any midfielders or defenders, this makes me think, what are the other options? Because we have to look at this financially. How are they going to afford this?
They're in debt.
There always is something interesting going on with the 1-to-1 rule in Barcelona.
You always have Real Madrid that's trying to call out Barcelona for doing this, that, and everything else, which is kind of ridiculous.
I have no idea who the other signings are. Obviously, we know the main 4 targets, or the rumors, are Díaz, Leão, Williams, and Rashford.
I like all 4 of them.
And if I could choose to have one,
I think I would choose Nico.
just because of his age, We know his ability, Spanish national team. Leão excites me the most, but I just think he's kind of lazy, and I don't know if he's going to be able to defend and if he'll hustle as much as Rafinha, and he's incredibly talented. But then you have Luis Díaz.
Honestly, if Luis Díaz was 26 and 60, 70 million, I would almost say Luis Díaz because he's the hardest working player on the pitch.
Almost every single match.
And he's an unbelievable dribbler, and he works so hard. He can beat guys on the dribble.
I would almost be for it.
I think Nico and Rashford are the two realistic options, and I think that's what we're going to be pursuing moving forward, and I'm fine with it. I think a lot of people are tripping on the Rashford deal. If you can get him for a cheap price, I don't know what the harm is because there's not anything that says he has to start.
Barcelona, they should have made the Champions League final this season. I think if they're completely healthy, they have their two outside backs.
And there's a couple less mistakes. They didn't lose because they weren't as good as Inter Milan. They lost because they weren't focused and they made mistakes.
And Inter Milan capitalized.
I think this team, the same exact team, could win the Champions League next season. I think they'd have a lot better chance by adding a couple of these players. And Rashford, adding him is not going to hurt the team. So I don't understand why people are so against it because he is very talented and he's very skilled. He is an incredible dribbler. He's incredible on the ball. He's going to dribble guys. He's going to beat them one-on-one. We'll see how he would fare in the flick system. I just don't think it's that negative if he signed with the club. I don't really see that.
I would rather have somebody else, but I'm for this. So I would love to hear what you guys have to say.
About these 4 transfers, who do you want to see the club get out of those 4? Who do you think is most realistic? And then what do you guys think about this Joan Garcia signing? And if you know a lot about him, definitely let us know and help us out in the comments because I'm not as familiar, and I'm sure there's some people watching that don't know as much either. So we'd really appreciate that. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate the support. Check out that membership link. I'm excited to grow this community.
I'll see you guys back here next time. Peace.